All right, here I'm going to start with knight f3 again, because if bishop f5, you can go knight e5 and h3 and g4. And it goes knight c6. Now, the funny thing is, I actually am not familiar with knight c6 right off as a move, but it's a good move here because the pawn stops knight b5. If the pawn were on a7, knight b5 would win the game here. But I think I'm going to play... I think I'm going to go e3 here to finish my development. I still maybe want to move the knight and push pawns, but I want to see, is he developing the bishop here, or is he going to push the pawn? So he develops the bishop, so now I go knight e5 here. Now I have a lot of ideas of trying to expand on the king side here. So he takes... Okay, so now I think I'm going to take with the pawn here to attack the knight, because this pawn on d5 is under attack here. He can't really guard it easily, and he does have knight to e4, where if I take, he maybe has e6. Bishop takes is also very thematic, but probably next time I'll take with the bishop when someone does this. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to play the move bishop to d3, and the reason I'm not going to take this pawn is because if I take and he gets e6, he attacks the knight. When I drop back, he activates the bishop, and there's all kinds of pressure in the center of the board. So if he takes, I'll pre-move it to be safe. If he doesn't, we'll come with another concept. He plays e6. So now that he's played e6, there are multiple ways to take this knight here. And I think what I'm going to do here is actually not take the knight. I think I'm going to rotate my knight back so I can play f3 and kick this knight right out of the center of the board. I can also just castle first, depending on what he does. Plays h6, so now I'm going to go f3 to kick the knight out. If queen h4, I can always go g3. Now, plays g5, which is actually a very, very good move. If I take, he takes back with the pawn, and he's attacking both bishops here. So I'm going to retreat my bishop, offer a free trade here. What I'm hoping is that there's some dark square weaknesses where my knight can jump around. So my knight can jump to h5 maybe. Here, I'm going to take with the pawn so I can reinforce my center. I have knight h5. I have f4 here in this position. I'm really liking my position because I'm trying to create threats on these dark squares since he's pushed these pawns right away. He checks, good move. I think I'll just go... I think I'm going to go to f2, and the reason I'm going to go to f2 here is not so much because I don't want to mean with a pawn cloud, because I still want to play h4. I maybe want to go d4, e4. If he pushes this pawn here to stop me, I have queen a4 checking the king and winning this bishop here. He goes back, so now I'm going to play d4. I've got this great central pawn mass, these three pawns together. You get c5 being played, and now I'm going to go knight to... I want to go knight h5, but actually, no, I think I should. I want to grip these dark swords, maybe use the knight here. I've got this nice center of pawns. This knight has some hooks on h5, so I like my position. It's not very thematic, I'm going to be honest. It's not really thematic, but I just figure people can probably pick up something from it, so I'm trying to play this from something that's actually pretty deep conceptually what I'm going for. I'm going to go g4, lock this horse on h5, and down the road, I want to open up this f file. So I've got this great grip. I don't really want to let him crash through easily, though, so I think... No, I think actually it doesn't matter. c3 does matter, so I'm going to go here. c3, I can go b3. I just don't want him to get this massive counterplay on the open file. So let's slide away. I'm going to go rook f1 and f4, open up the f file. Not thematic, but the concepts are clear. Exactly. Kick is now the new LinkedIn. I don't know what you mean by that, you guys. Not sure what you mean. So now I'm going to go rook to f1, idea of f4, play on this f file. There's always this huge square on f6. He goes rook g6, good move. Now what I'm going to do here is f4 takes, I have to take with a rook. This opens up the file, but I think I'm going to go here first. This way I protect the pawn when I push. And actually when I push, I might even want to take with a pawn and go for this f4, f5. Actually, I think I'm going to go for f5, f4, f5. And the reason is that once I start pushing this pawn, the rook is in really bad shape here. I can start pushing these pawns forward. I have knight f6 maybe. Queen f5 is probably good, but I'll take with the pawn. Moves the rook over, good move. Now I'm going to play e4 to blast the center open, and I'm just going to basically push these pawns. This great wall of pawns. Actually, this is a classic L-shaped pawn formation from the great game of Tetris. We're not rolling here, but nonetheless, we've got this great formation. So now I go queen to e4. I'm going to play rook to e1 and probably e6 next move. Actually, I can even go d5, and I'm just pushing these pawns further up the board here. Let's just keep pushing the pawns, and black's in a lot of trouble. We go check, I take